Okay, hello. Any good practice routine should start with a warm-up. So, before we get started with the routine, make sure you're really limber, make sure you've stretched those wrists, make sure your posture's really good, because we want to be setting good habits for when we get back on the kit. We want to make sure our shoulders are back, everything like that. Make sure our shoulders are really loose, make sure our wrists have good blood flow coming through them. I tend to tense my hands up a little bit, make sure there's nice good blood flow, and yeah, we're ready to get started. Okay, now that we've finished our warm-up, we can go on to the next 4 sections, starting with doubles, then singles, then Moeller, then rudiments. So, why are we starting with doubles? I'd say doubles is the least physically intensive out of all of them, so I like to start off slow with those. So how we're going to work is I'm going to quickly show you the technique and show you my 2 favourite drills. So, starting off, we all know about the bounce technique now for the doubles. If you haven't, I've made a full video on that, so do definitely watch that. So basically we're dropping the stick, we're catching it for that second double. So, my 2 best drills for doubles would be going from singles to doubles, so to practice the transition from your singles to doubles like this. So that's 8 singles and then 8 doubles. And yeah, you can work that from really, really slow tempos to practice like your proper technique, or you can practice it really fast. The most important thing is to do it with a metronome, so you're really consistent, and yeah, you can practice that for as much as you want. Next, we're going to go on to another of my favourites, so it's working from really, really slow doubles like this, all the way up to really fast doubles. So. So yeah, that's another one of my favourites. The great thing about this practice routine is you can shorten it to be as short as you want, or you can lengthen it if you've really got that time to dial in on your technique. So yeah, let's move on to singles. Okay, next up we're moving on to singles, and we're really practicing using the fingers and the bounce technique like this. Full video up there if you really want a big lesson on that. So my first favourite exercise for singles is to really build your endurance. It's also to do with patterns of 8 on each hand. So you play 8 on one hand, and then do it on the other. You then play 2 sets of 8, so 16 on this hand, and then 16 on this hand, and then add another 8, so 24, 32, 40, so 4 sets of 8, 5 sets of 8, 6 sets of 8. So you do all of that, you should be really burning by the end of that, and you work your way all the way back down. So 6 on one hand, 6 sets of 8 on the other hand, 5, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1. That should have you really burning and really practicing your endurance. So next up is all about the transitions. So next drill, start with 8 on one hand, 8 on the other hand, then 8 together, and then a big group of 16, so alternating. And that's really good for transitioning between sort of simultaneous hits and the alternating hits, and I found that's really smoothened out my playing a little bit. And finally, as with the doubles, you can do all the way from slow all the way to fast, which is just kind of a standard amazing sort of practice routine you can do. Again, helping with the transition between using the wrists and using the fingers. So yeah, let's move on to our Moeller section. So in terms of our Moeller section, I really like to sort of really exaggerate the movement while I'm practicing my Moeller. So if I'm doing like a section of 4s like this with an accent at the end, I'd probably never bring my elbow that high while I'm playing. If I really drill in that my elbow needs to come up, my wrist needs to come like this for the proper accent, then when I get on the kit I find that even if I'm doing it, I find that sort of, that feels a lot more natural when I hop on the kit if I'm really practicing with that big exaggeration. So in terms of what I'm playing, I kind of only use one exercise for Moeller, and it's taking any group with a number, so say a group of 4 and putting an accent at the end. So and then doing a section of those, so maybe 4 of those, and then switching to the other hand. And then you can do that with 3s, 5s, that sort of thing. You can really get a lot of mileage out of that one sort of drill. Another thing I like to do with Moeller is really exaggerate the accents. So I even try and use my fingers when it gets a bit faster. And yeah, I find that I can get a lot of mileage out of that one drill with, yeah, exaggerating the accents and really exaggerating the movement. So yeah, finally, let's move on to our rudiments. Okay, finally, a section I often find myself neglecting, but I really think is quite important, is learning your rudiments. So hopefully the camera will pick this up. I would really recommend getting yourself just a simple A4 printout of all of the rudiments. Then you can kind of visualise what they are, and you can work through the different sections. Another really great thing that I would recommend, not a necessary purchase, but an amazing drum book like this, such as the All-American Drummer. So this is Charlie Wilcoxon. This has 150 solos, all rudiment based, and that really helps you to see the rudiments in context, and it also helps you to find sort of combinations between the different rudiments that you might not have known or might not have thought of yourself. And yeah, I feel like that can really help you sort of elevate your practice, whether that's on the pad. You can also move them around the kit, definitely on the snare drum, they sound great. Okay, lastly, as a little bonus, I'd actually like to talk about how I use my practice between here and between the kit. So obviously, I feel like you really don't want to be sat down on the kit, especially if you have neighbours, using up valuable time that you might have to play fun stuff just doing this. Annoying your neighbours in time that you could be using to have some fun and play what you want to play on the kit. So what I'd suggest and what I do is I play all of my boring stuff on the pad, so whether it's my Moeller, all the stuff we talked about in this video. When I get to the kit, then I can play my solos, my grooves, that sort of stuff, and I've actually improved at those grooves and solos because I've now found it easier because I practice all my technique from the stuff we've gone through in this video. So my challenge to you is to give it 20 minutes, 10-20 minutes a day, 5 minutes on each section out of the 4 that we've discussed today. Stick them on with a metronome and really try and push that that time, 5 beats per minute, that sort of thing, up per day, and you'll really see great improvements if you go through this practice routine and stick to it for a week or 2, and then it will really just become habit. So yeah, thanks very much for watching. Do check out the other videos, like and subscribe, and thank you very much.